Yeah, we've taken some really bad risks this game. There's kind of no reason to play like this, I think.
Force surrender in 20 seconds.
Does he have more chumpers on red? Yeah, all of his cards are red, right?
I'm basically 1/8 gay.
So we just astral this boy. Yeah, that's pretty easy. 2 of his units damage. I mean, Eclipse, let's go.
Holy shit! Fucking lost.
Excuse me? I think if you spawn into heroes, it works out pretty well. Like, whenever you spawn your axe into, like, a treant or something, it's really great. If you're spawning into a creep, it's kind of only going to make it worse. It's good loosen beam for us. Okay, so this is another version of the Abaddon. The Abaddon in this one is kind of interesting because, you know, flopping 3 red heroes is kind of, it's good. It's a little bit more aggressive. It's maybe what you want against blue. On the other hand, this is kind of a more, defensive hero, and he's not running like Mr. Unearthed. So I don't think this should give me any more of a problem than normal ramp. So for the deploy, we have to consider a few things. Number one, always think about where the opponent hero goes. So where does his opponent hero go on the Treant Protector? It usually goes left here. I think left is just a pretty obvious call. So we're just going to make the rest of our decision with that in mind. Zeus goes right, 1 and 3 into Bristle. That 1 and 3 feels very bad when it happens. I don't think we terribly mind using Astral if that happens. But the question is there a reason we're playing for a right? Because right now we don't even have a way to spend all of our mana. In this case, I think it's worth it. We don't mind one of our heroes dying this turn. It's not the hand state where we necessarily need a hero to die. It's a lot better to have a hero die on turn 2 if you have Annihilation already in hand. But we could actually just be fine letting our Zeus die to this Bristleback, if it means that we have the requisite hero dying this turn. Because Monoblue breaks all the rules, right? The whole idea of Monoblue is you don't really mind it when your heroes are dying. Sometimes you like it. So it's an interesting position. We want to deportal one of our lanes. We want to maybe Astral somewhere. Think about conflagging. Think about compelling. We've got a lot of decision points to make here. Bit weird. So deportal is not actually that good here. Spawning into the Legion is kind of not what you want. I'm gonna go ahead and Foresight. So he could duel the Luna if he really wants to. I don't think that's that good of a duel, so this is fine. So the idea is we want to deportal. So deportal into this Legion. First of all, we don't actually want to populate left with our creeps because it's looking like we're going to need some kind of nuke left. Probably an Annihilation. We've got the draw that makes it fairly likely, even though we still don't have it in hand, because I still have 2 turns left to find it, and we're going to be playing and drawing more cards. But potentially we could kind of bounce back into this lane later if we need to. Could be thinking about igniting that now. Deportal right probably looks like the best option, just because it exchanges for this creep pretty well. Left is where Ignite's going to get the most permanent value, so I will go ahead and put it there. Are you sure now OD is better than Jamoy, or OD is just better in this meta? That's a very, very interesting question. I'm not sure. I think OD might be more stably better than Jamoy. So here, because he played that as the opener, we're obviously not going to deportal. We're just kind of feeding it free value if we do. So the question is, do we let our Zeus die? Because we could compel it to save its life if we don't really want to hear it coming back on 6.
I'm basically 1/8 gay.
I think the
$5
flexibility
for toilet paper fund.
I think the flexibility is really important, actually.
15 seconds remaining.
I'm gonna go ahead and let the Zeus die here. So I could save the Zeus at no cost to myself, but I'm gonna save the melee creep instead. Because A, fitting the Bristle armor doesn't matter here. There's one card in my deck that even cares about armor, and it's Conflag. And B, it's the safe play to just have a hero respawning every turn. It just keeps you open and flexible. Hero deaths are kind of like how you have mobility in Monoblue. And it's really important to play for them. Now, it's very awkward that we don't have Annihilation in this hand already. It makes the fact that we're killing Zeus a little bit more of, you know, a not so obvious decision. So we got to think about how this turn is going to play out. Where's the Abaddon going to go? So the Abaddon's probably going to go mid to contest it unless he has like the nuts, and he might want to try to go a left on 3 heroes. But it's probably mid otherwise. If he has Star's Time, he could go off left, but honestly, I'm not even sure that's advisable in that case. So we're thinking about putting the Ogre mid. It survives against this. Kana goes right. We're going to need to conflag into this lane. It has the most creeps, and it's going to be good to have Kana and conflag in this lane together. I feel pretty good about this lane after we drop both down.
15 seconds remaining.
And as you can see, we're... Interesting, Abaddon right. We're just choosing our hero deployments also based on the stat lines. Like, Axe is 1 short of killing Ogre, and Bristle's 4 short of killing Kana. So, you could go off here. That's very interesting. So, he's used all his mana. We're not playing around like Star's line or anything. So, I think we're just going to go ahead and Sanctum here. When in doubt, use your Sanctum on the left side. We got Ogre mid who benefits from hitting a spell. So, double improvement left is basically trying to maximize Ogre value because we're just going to use one of our spells mid. We got the Zeus coming in. We are actually going to need to draw a clear though, right? Eclipse is at 4 charges. That's probably not going to be enough, right? That's probably not going to be enough. And then I think we'll have to deportal red as well. Actually, we'll just pray right. What am I talking about? This is a pretty good pray, I think. He's actually achieved putting a lot of pressure on us. And his Abaddon right might have just been a pretty good play, because it makes this mid scenario a lot more awkward. So if he has some kind of initiative play, he could lock us out of an option. But because Kana's so healthy, there's pretty much nothing other than enough magic that locks us out of a playable option on the right side. It's really important to get this prey off, but at the same time, I think we're going to go ahead and depot here. Worst case scenario, we get enough magic to cry. Enough magic is usually a one-off. I mean, if this is the net deck, it's a one-off, I think. Maga's list only ran 1, unless I'm misremembering. And running it as a one-off means not only is it less likely to happen, but it's also, if he uses it, he doesn't have the option for the rest of the game. So it feels fine.
Blood
Okay. So we're stalling this lane a lot. He's committed a lot of resources into this, partially because he got some random creep spawns here, partially because of like centaurs. But the conflag and the prey is really slowing him down. We have initiative on the left side. Now all we have to do is actually top deck into the Annihilation. I think we have to play left no matter what. Even if we don't top deck the Annihilation, it still feels like the best option. We can maybe take a initiative Astral. This honestly feels quite bad. Initiative Astral, try to lock him out of time. I think the good player will always just top deck the Annihilation here, and I won't really need to actually think about what to do otherwise. That feeding hounds. Yeah, usually you really want to use your hounds offensively as opposed to defensively, because, you know, otherwise they do feed a lot of gold. But in that situation, I think we just have no choice. So Eclipse at 4 charges has a pretty good chance at killing Trezen. Not what I'd consider an incredible chance. Not what I'd consider incredible at all. What actually are the odds?
Seconds remaining.
It's somewhere in the order of magnitude of 50%.
Forced surrender in 30 seconds.
It's so much better than Astral if it works, though.
1.
Who doesn't love a good smite?
Why don't you like Sky? Okay, so that's a really good question. I don't know. For Seed Story Cup, hyped kind of Stockholm us all on Sky. We were sitting downstairs in like the arcade area, And Hyped came up to us. Me and
Force surrender in 20 seconds.
Samph, the other Monoblue boys. And he was like, yo guys, Sky is good. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. So I got a little Stockholmed on Sky. I mean, he's okay.
10 seconds until surrender.
Mid is a non-lane, right?
5.
I think I'd rather use my mana here, honestly. Just because nothing can really happen mid. Like, even if he uses call off of initiative, it doesn't really feel very bad for me when that happens. Because mid, we have just like super creep situation, and he has nothing, so it feels kind of like a foregone conclusion a little bit.
Will serve a greater
One of our heroes is dying here, that's fine. I don't even know what to do here. Pass for initiative for right.
4.
Thank you.
So the thing about Skywrath is... Oh, that's interesting. The thing about Skywrath is he kind of sucks. Like, his passive kind of sucks. His stat line kind of sucks. And his card is kind of okay, but it also kind of sucks. The real question is, what don't I... What do I like about Skywrath? I think everything about the card is just kind of sucky.
My victory is inevitable.
I could have needed to use Foresight mid. The fact that we don't have Annihilation in our hand right now is definitely a little chunky.
I'll use it to my advantage.
So our Eclipse is going up to 5 charges. Tree is going down to 6. So 2 charges pretty likely to go into the tree. There's a chance we could snipe the Quorum if we hit it 3 charges. Sometimes that just happens, right? If we put the Luna down here, she's guaranteed to go in front of the tree where she can't be locked out of playable options. The Kana's on the right side already. I think 2 left is going to be the right call since there's no chance we're going to Annihilate. If we top deck the Annihilation, we'll probably be inclined to do it here, and there's not really a reason that OD. So the reason Ogre's in this lane is if he has duel. He hasn't used a single duel yet, and we want to be able to play the rest of our mana. If we want the Annihilation, I think it's better on the right side, so I think double deploying left makes more sense. Left looks like it's much more likely to be our win condition. We got to Annihilate right, and then just put a little bit of pressure here for the inevitable bolt left. Whereas with Monoblue, there's always one lane that you kind of chip down and one lane you bolts. We're chipping down mid, and we're bolting left. And it's really important to identify these lanes when they happen.
4. Eclipse.
Okay, so this was fairly unlucky. We really wanted to kill either the tree or the emissary. That was actually like pretty bottom tier. Luckily, we've got the guaranteed Annihilation on the right side, which feels good at least.
The possibilities are endless.
So, if he taps the Quorum, then I don't actually have to use my initiative cards, which is kind of neat.
Where you fall.
I think that's a good thing. Although, honestly, maybe with a hand like this, I do need to just play it out. I can't assault as lethal this, but the clock on the mid tower just can't really matter, right?
This is all it takes to defeat you.
That's quite interesting. I mean, we can't save the Ogre, right? If we could save this with Stonehall, then I actually would, because I'm not really super keen on saving these ults. It's very interesting that he just committed Jasper Daggers in that way against OD. Seems like it might be a mistake.
1.
I think I actually will take the assault here, after all. Because I really need to kind of fix this hand. It's a bit of a weird one. We're kind of nearing the stage of the game where, at most, I'm going to want one more assault for the rest of the game. And we just have too many draw cards in hand. We have like the Compels and the Foresight. We just need to curve out.
He'll make a fitting sacrifice to the Gaia.
So we could use the TP on the OD. That feels pretty good. The question is, which lane are we pushing at this point? We do have 1 Annihilation left in our deck, or actually 2 left in our deck. Wow, how did that happen? So he's got initiative. If we want to play around him, locking us out with either the duel or call, we have to play the Zeus left. We don't have the Blink Dagger to go forward, and we kind of want to start putting pressure on right lane. It's kind of an interesting consideration. We could want to go right lane instead of left. If he duels us, we're kind of sad. He will have duel. He will duel us. But how sad are we really? Aren't we pushing right? I think the state of the game has kind of changed a little bit. Left was our win condition before, but at this point, I think we're more likely to win by bolting right. If we draw like Canna Dogs mid, you know, there's actually a non-zero chance we could end mid. So Muse is 20 seconds every deploy phase? Yeah. It's really, really important to think about your deploys.
I'll fight till my last breath.
Like, that's like most of what you have to think about in an entire round is just like where you're deploying. Maybe it's more important with I don't know if it's more or less important with Monoblue, but I think I would definitely say too many people spend not enough time on their deploys, because there's actually a ton of things to consider, and if you're really like taking every single factor into account, it's going to take you a lot. I mean, if you're watching these tournaments, for example, because it's not just me, but if you're watching these tournaments, you'll see a ton of the players really, really think about their deploys a lot. Like, obviously, there's some auto snaps, but a lot of the deploys take like 20 or 30 seconds. Okay, so remaining resources: 2 Arcane Assaults in deck, 2 Annihilations in deck, and a 21 card deck. So we've got a lot to burn through. We should be able to steal initiative on the right side pretty easily if we want to. The question is, what are we actually doing with this? I think we should steal initiative. We do have the ability to kind of draw outs. Diabolic Revelation plus Prey on the Weak is pretty good here. Let's go ahead and play the Revelation. Looks like mid might actually become our win condition, depending on how this actually goes. We have the Ignite, we have the Revelation. We can go ahead and flask our OD. Honestly, I don't want more health on this. I'm just trying to buy time. Pretty awkward, the fact that we don't have control over right lane. And I think trying to go for 80 with this deck is actually just a mistake. Maybe this is wrong. I think, like, as a Monoblue player, sometimes you have an opportunity where it feels like you can go for 80. And when in doubt, don't.
I usher you into the darkness. What a useful trinket.
So we're taking a lot of damage on this right side. I think that's fine, though. There's no way to steal back initiative. So we don't really have great plays either way.
Force surrender in 30 seconds.
I think we're actually just not really scared of lefts at all.
Force surrender in 20
But we want to open up
seconds.
casting option here. If he puts like the axe left to try to like, you know, jam Blink Dagger value, we could just annihilate. Unfortunately, if we take the annihilation here, we could be kind of screwed on the right lane. If we actually want to take mid, we're gonna have to threaten this faster than we're doing. I mean, we can win mid with Bolt next turn. But the fact that right is now his new win condition means that winning mid is a lot better because it goes before right. So we're thinking about taking the annihilation here. The question is, are we gonna be screwed right if we do? I mean, what are we gonna do? Get some astrals down? Get an Eclipse? 6 charge Eclipse? This is a really bad Eclipse.
10 seconds until surrender.
I think just stopping the X from blinking is nice. The one issue is we don't have Arcane Assault in hands. Kind of an unfortunate draw here.
5.
Please accept this gift.
No reason to have my ogre die at this point, so we'll keep him alive like this. We don't have an initiative card, so this is actually just necessary, right? This play is very defensive, though. Dude, I really wish we had an assault in hand. The thing is, he can blink forward for right next turn as well. Just because right is a turn ahead. Feels kind of bad. I mean, he can't blink right. Okay, so he's opening up mid as a secondary win condition.
I think this brings out my quills, don't you?
I think my next match is probably actually up, right? Because this one has gone on for ages, and I started this like 5 minutes after the start of the round. Freddy forfeited into me. Dude, I was looking forward to playing as Freddy too. You did not just do that. Couldn't possibly have the third one.
On the power of desire.
So this is actually a very interesting turn.
Force surrender in 30 seconds.
I think we just lethal mid, right? Just double deploy mid. I mean, anything we put left is probably just dying to a call off of not having initiative.
Force surrender in 20 seconds.
This double deploy mid thing might actually just not work, though. We don't really have enough mana. Wow, that kind of blows, huh?
Until surrender.
Where is our mana?
5, 4.
Not having a Sanctum mid could actually lose us this game. How does this tree have 36 health? What the hell happened here? 36?
Good kind is going to write about this. Axe's legend grows.
3.
I'll make short work of this.
Dealing damage, guys.
Behold, the spoils of Whipping.
Oh, we're gonna have fun with this little bubble.
Two, 1.
1 second left. This is how you get better at time management, by the way. You just gotta constantly be on the rope like me. It'll train you to think better under pressure. Not having initiative could be a little rough here, actually.
Burn! Burn!
Committing to annihilate the right lane might be a little much. Something went wrong here.
fitting, member of the Dark Moon. The enemies of Salamene will fall.
I'll make good use of this. Perfect.
So we need to astral his axe before we then TP out. Because once the axe is astral, then we can TP out at no cost. Because if we don't astral it first and then we TP, we could be kind of screwed. Because then he could call or duel the other one and threaten lethal.
Force surrender in 30 seconds.
We kind of committed to take mid. I mean, it's a little risky. So we're playing around call or duel since we have no initiative play by playing 2 left. That would eat mid to try to ensure lethal. Going for 80 opened up a really gaping lose condition for us. There's really no reason to be taking risks like this. This is just a risk that we just don't need to take. So, enough magic could win him the game here. There's a good chance that happens. I think he would have snapped it. Bristleback can almost just one punch this left tower.
Congratulates you on your successes.
Coming here.
He still has 2 locked cards in his hand as well. Yeah, we've taken some really bad risks this game. There's kind of no reason to play like this, I think.
We will not lose.
Force surrender in 20 seconds.
Does he have more trumpers on red? Yeah, all of his cards are red, right?
I'm basically 1/8 gay.
So we just astral this boy. Yeah, that's pretty easy. 2 of his units damage. I mean, Eclipse, let's go.
Holy shit! Fucking lost.
Excuse me? Okay.
I'll go on as long as I can.
Guess he got us, guys. What? Wait, I don't get it. What? Why though?
I'm basically 1/8 gay.
You guys want to see something real funny? Alright, check this out. Fuck. That wasn't funny at all. Oh, welcome to the 1/8 gay club. Just Jervin. Multicast win there would have been sick. Yeah, if only I had gotten the multicast win. Holy shit. Is this guy serious? So he was just trolling me.
Force surrender in 30 seconds. Force surrender in 20 seconds.
Surrender.
4 left in my deck, huh? Oh, I don't have enough mana for it all though. Last card on my deck is Lost in Time. Can that actually make a difference? Lost in Time here gives me a chance to win.
10 seconds until surrender.
This isn't your day. A device for ending life.
The fuck was this game? Holy shit. Dude, what a trolly game. So we misplayed that real bad. But you know how it is, never punished. I think he probably misplayed it worse, if it's any consolation. We should have closed that game out like a really long time ago.